Hello Mila, hello Jack. Hello everybody else who's watching. Welcome to Storytime with Grandad. Today's book is from the Animals of Farthing Wood, and it's the first one in the series, and it's Farewell to the Wood. Toad was hot. Toad was tired, but Toad was happy. At last he was coming home to Farthing Wood. He hopped slowly, dragging his tired legs on the rough ground. If I can just keep going a little longer, he panted, I'll soon be home. Suddenly, a shadow fell across him. Toad heard a grinding noise of gears, shifting. Then a giant metal claw scooped him up. Help! Toad shouted frantically. Help! Put me down! The claw turned over and tipped Toad out. A pile of earth and stones fell on top of him. In another part of Farthing Wood, Badger, Weasel and Owl were worried. It's terrible, said Badger, shaking his head. They're cutting down more of the wood every day. Ha, they would, wouldn't they? Said Weasel. They're humans after all. How many homes have gone today, Owl? Asked Badger. Owl ticked them off on his claws. 6 burrows, 3 squirrel drays, and 15 birds' nests, she said. In the distance, another tree crashed to the ground. That makes 16, said Owl. Kestrel swooped down to perch beside Owl. Have you heard? She said. They're filling in the pond. Owl gasped. Badger groaned. Weasel tried to look cheerful. At least we've still got a stream, she pointed out, but it's only a muddy trickle now, said Badger gloomily. Come and see. The hedgehogs and rabbits were trying to drink in the few remaining puddles. Suddenly they squealed with fright. Fox had arrived. This is a crisis, he said. Make no mistake, we can't live without water. What can we do? Said everyone together. Fox thought for a moment. We must call an assembly, he said at last. But they're only supposed to be for emergencies, said Badger. What do you call this then? Said Weasel cheekily. A picnic? What good will an assembly do? Squeaked a brave little rabbit. I don't know, said Fox, but we've got to do something. He's right, said Badger, as Fox slipped away. We'll meet at midnight in my set. Rabbit, you tell Hare. Hedgehog, you find the newts. Weasel can look for the voles. What about Mole? Said Weasel. Moley will find his way, said Badger. Everyone scurried away to spread the news. An assembly at midnight called the squirrels in the treetops. In Badger's set squeaked the shrews in the long grass. We've forgotten our snaky friend Adder, said Weasel with a shudder. Find her then, said Badger, but warn her to behave. As night fell, Badger got to work. Clods of earth flew out of his set. Watch out, said Weasel, passing by. Badger came up blinking. Sorry, he said, I'm trying to make more room down here. Why don't you fetch some glowworms? We're going to need their light. Midnight came. Owl arrived first. She snapped her beak crossly. You don't expect me to go down there, she said. Why, I might get dirty. Oh, fusspot, said Weasel rudely. Please, Owl, said Badger hastily. I need you to set an example. Oh, in that case, said Owl, and down the set she went. Everyone else followed. Not last, am I? Said Adder at the end of the line. Yes, you are, said Badger. And Adder, don't eat the glowworms. Of course I won't, said Adder. But she did look a bit disappointed. When all the animals had settled down, Badger cleared his throat. Now, Listen, everyone, he began. Wait, said Weasel. Where's Mole? There was a sudden scrabbling noise overhead, and a crack appeared in the roof of the set. Then one paw, then another. Sorry I'm late, everyone, said Mole in a small voice. Fox stepped forward. Animals, he said, we're in great danger. Our wood is being destroyed and our pond has gone. Once it was home to 47 toads. The last one left months ago and never returned. Outside, in the darkness of Farthing Wood, something was moving. Toad, bruised and dazed, had managed at last to dig his way out of the pile of earth on top of him. I'm still alive, he croaked. And I'm home. At least, I think I am. But where is everyone? Toad looked around. In the moonlight, he saw Farthing Wood. It looked smaller than he remembered. I'm coming, mateys, he called, painfully hopping along. Toad's here. Toad's back. I'm coming. Suddenly, he felt the soft earth give way beneath him. He was falling again, down and down into the ground. He nearly landed right on Weasel's tail. Well, bless my soul, it's that daft Toad, sniffed Owl. I thought you were gone for good. So did I, said Toad, smiling round at all his friends. Where have you been all this time, Toad? Asked Rabbit. Where haven't I been, more like, said Toad. Caught in a jam jar I was, and carried away, far away, by a nasty human child. But I bided my time and escaped. I've been travelling for months. Horrible it was. I must get back to my mateys, I kept thinking. I must get back to my pond. There was an awkward silence. The pond has gone, said Adder. Filled in. What? Gasped Toad. No, it isn't true. Tears trickled out of his large, staring eyes. I'm sorry, Toad, said Fox, but you might as well know the truth. Farthing Wood is being destroyed. We've got to leave. That's why we called an assembly. He turned to the birds. Can you help us? You travel far and wide. Is there another pond nearby? Pheasant shook his head. My wife and I never venture out of the wood, he said. We might be, shot, said Hen Pheasant bluntly. I know a place we could go, said Toad quietly. It's a perfect place. No humans anywhere, only animals allowed. Only animals, everyone echoed in disbelief. Where? Tell us where. It's called White Deer Park, said Toad. It's a nature reserve. It's a terribly long journey, but I could lead you there. Fox looked at Badger. Badger nodded. We have no choice, said Fox. White Deer Park it must be. But first, he looked around at the ring of faces. We must take the ancient woodland vow. We must all promise to help one another and... Now he looked particularly at Adder, Weasel and Owl. Not to eat each other. Everyone started talking at once. We must have a leader, said Badger. Someone brave and cunning and strong. Fox, Fox, the animals shouted. Thank you, said Fox. Here's my first order. Rest and eat one more day. We'll start our journey tomorrow at midnight. The animals agreed and said good night. Badger gazed around his set. My home, sweet home, he whispered sadly. Farewell, Farthing Wood. The end. Look out for another episode coming soon. Goodbye, Mila. Goodbye, Jack. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.